So, Kennedy, you found this story. Why are people just now excited for Stafford? Can I give you my thoughts? And you've probably heard me share this before. As we near closer to football season, something happens to the football fan's brain. Especially once the calendar hits. I'm not joking when I say this. Once the calendar hits July 1, or excuse me, August 1, I call it crazy month. And all of a sudden, even though you've looked at their roster for the last 6 months, you've watched this guy your whole career, when that calendar hits August 1st, you immediately become excited as the season draws near, and you up the ante. So Art is saying 10-7 right now.
Whoa!
On August 1st, that is going to go up at least 2 games.
No, it's not.
It's going to go to 12-5.
That was my lowest 10-7.
No, I think last time we checked in, it was 14-3.
But really, I can't tell you how many times I've dealt with this being in this business. Like, something happens and you hit August and the season draws near and you're like,
you know what happens?
oh yeah, we have Matthew Stafford now. That and all of a sudden, like, you've had him for months now. What changed? Nothing. We're that much closer to games being played. That's really it's almost like the androids that walk around all day saying, "Let's go, let's go." It is. It's crazy shit. So what changed in the last few months?
People are excited.
Why are you being a hater? Let's go.
Why are people just now getting excited for Stafford?
I don't know.
Are they getting excited because he's no longer on the Lions? Or are they getting excited for him because now he's on another team?
More the Rams.
More the Rams.
More the Rams.
More the Rams.
I think.
Now, is it more the Rams because he's on a better team? Now, he's been on good teams here in Detroit. And he's made some noise here. Now, we didn't win the playoff game, but he led us to 11-5 season, sticking to the playoffs, and we lost that game. But he made some noise here. Now, the thing is going to be if he can take that same season he had that year and then transition that over into L.A. Is he going to be able to do that? New environment, new coaching staff, new players, new fans. Sometimes you can be put in a new environment and then flourish. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there, but I want him to have a good season, but I want them to have a losing season. It's better for us.
I love what Kenny said. Kenny said, I hope Stafford throws for 5,000 yards and goes 0-16.
Mm-hmm.
From your mouth to God's ears.
My man Kenny.
I would love. I hope that Matthew Stafford breaks every possible passing record in the history of mankind, and the Rams finish number 1. So that way the Lions could have the number 1 and the number 2 pick next year.
You know what that means, Art?
Listen.
Do you know what that means, Art?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means that they have to suck, blah, 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 and they can't win games, and then we get a higher draft. None of that matters. Lions Super Bowl 2022, baby. Come on. I mean, common sense ain't that common around here, folks.
Football's coming home.
You are freaking right. You are freaking right. Common sense is just not around here at all.
Hey, listen,
Especially
I'm not the only
booth.
one talking like that. My man Kenny Burke. Super Bowl champs, let's go!
Yeah, we're not
Let it
just
out, Sean,
going to
let it
LA
out.
for the Rams game.
Let's go!
We're not just going to LA for the Rams game. We're also going in February for the Super Bowl. I just didn't know if you knew that or not. So we're going to be there
When the
twice.
Rams go 9-8 or 10-7, finish last in their division, who gets the blame? I think that division could be difficult. I mean, I like the Rams team. I liked them last year. You have to give them credit for, getting to a point that they did where it's clear, and this is not even a shot at Jared Goff, even though you know my feelings on Jared Goff. The coach did not believe in the quarterback anymore. I mean, that's blatantly obvious now. Yeah. It was obvious before he got traded. It's amazing they got as far as they did last year under those circumstances. So if that division is as tough as it could be in the key and operative word, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think they're going to be a good team. Do I think that they become the favorite in the NFC? Nah. I don't know if there's a favorite in the NFC right now. I'm serious. I say that knowing...
You sit back and think about it. I don't know.
I say that knowing there's still air in Tom Brady's lungs and the Bucs are still the Super Bowl champion. I don't know if there's a favorite.
I'm gonna
I
tell
mean,
you,
I'm not going to get in the line to count him out. I'm not going to get in the line to count out Aaron Rodgers either. Even with all the disaster that went on there, I'm not getting in that line. I think the Rams are a good team. Does Matthew Stafford make the difference between being a good team to becoming a great team, being the NFC, dare I say, Super Bowl champion? They didn't make that deal to be just a good team. They made that deal and gave up what they gave up because they thought that Matthew Stafford was the missing piece. If he's not, you know where all the blame is going to go, Charles? It's going to go to Matthew Stafford. It is.
Thanks.
You gave up a hell of a lot to go get Matthew Stafford. And whether it's warranted or not, I can't gaze into the crystal ball. But if they fall short, if they have a season like Charles suggested, yeah, people are going to point the finger at 9. That's the way it is.
And this is probably the most accurate comment I've seen today. Motor City Sports, Art is actually on drugs.
Can I ask a question, though? Matthew Stafford couldn't get anything done with the Lions. We went to the playoffs, cool. We didn't do anything with it. Yeah. So why in a tougher division do we think that he's going to do better? And I'm saying we as like a general statement. Why would anybody think that Matthew Stafford is going to do better with the Rams? Sure, he's on a better team, but it's a tougher division, and he didn't perform when he was in Detroit.
It's a great question, Art.
Yeah.
The team does have a lot to do with it. I mean, look, the Lions had their shortcomings in recent years. I mean, we've talked about it a lot on this show. I liked that 2014 team, and I thought it was a shame that we wasted literally a once-in-a-generation defense that year. We wasted it. That was a special defense.
That was a special defense. It
and,
definitely
and,
was.
And we wasted that 2014 defense. And quite frankly, these are my words, not Joique's words. Okay? I'm very careful to say that. Part of the issue was what happened with the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. You didn't get enough out of the offense. And that was part of the issue. And Joique, I've often told you this, if you guys, your offense, the second half of 2015, when you guys got it turned around after starting 1-7, your offense with that defense, holy shoot. Oy! I simultaneously like to think about it and don't like to think about it. Does that make sense? Because son of a bitch! It would have been... Because they used you. I mean, you guys were like...
we had the pieces.
You did!
We had the pieces. We had Calvin, we had Golden Tate, we had Reggie, we had me, you had Pettigrew and Ebron. I mean, we had Theo Riddick. I mean, and that's when he was coming out as Theo Riddick, one of the best route runners out of the backfield, if not the best in the league. And so we had some weapons.
I liked what JBC did with that offense. He said, boys, we're 1-7. Screw it. Let's go. No, Kevin.
It was Curtis
Alavila
too.
can't spend guy.
It was Curtis
I'm done
too
with him, by the way.
You heard me? It was Curtis Markin too. So
but I mean, you understand what I'm saying, though. I mean, they just opened it up and said, okay, the way we were doing things wasn't working. You guys were exciting. You were diverse. You could hurt a team in a multitude of ways. You did hurt teams with a multitude of ways. And if you could take that offense with the 2014 defense, that's a Lion team that wins at least a couple of playoff games. And I'm serious.
This is a great question. Joique, was there ever a time playing with Stafford that you thought he was making bad choices during the game?
Actually, no. But he did. I mean, because you're in the game, you're in the game. I'm not seeing what he's seeing. I'm in my, before the game, he does his pre-snap read. I do my pre-snap read. I kind of know what I'm looking for. But when it's out there, things are happening like that. And when you have a guy like Matthew Stafford, what can make you great can also be the same thing that can hurt you. Right? And when I say that, he has one of the most elite arms in the NFL. And so he has the green light to try to make those thread the needle passes. And sometimes they work, sometimes they didn't. But at the end of the day, when he made those passes and they went through, we loved him for it. When they didn't, we hated him for it and they grilled him for it. But at the end of the day, those are chances you have to take when you're at that position.
Charles said the Rams lost their whole defensive coaching staff. The new coach is changing the scheme, and in most people's mind, the Rams lost their best back-end defensive player to the Browns. All of that may be true, but the Rams know what everybody else knows, and there are a few, not as many as there were 5 years ago, but there are still a few that are kicking and screaming that won't accept this. So I'm going to say it for the 7,000th time on this show. You are fooling yourself if you don't know that offense wins now. That the game has completely changed. They punish defenses now, and offense is the name of the game. And if you don't believe me, ask a guy that actually played in the NFL. He's sitting right there. And that's the way it is. That's not to say that defense still isn't important. Hear what I'm saying. Take the time to hear what I'm saying. But if you guys haven't figured out yet that defense has gone like this and offense has gone like that, and the way the game is called and the way the defenses, quite frankly, are punished with some of the flags out there now, you aren't watching. I don't know what to tell you. But it's easy for people that grew up in my generation to play the role of the old man, which I won't do in this regard. Defense wins championships. Lombardi and 3 yards of cloud of dust. Like that. It hasn't been like that in a long time, man. I don't know what to tell you that. It's just... I don't know. These guys live it. They know it. I've had conversations with enough guys, and heck, there are guys on television. Tom Jackson says it all the time. I've loved Tom Jackson for coming out and saying, man, I don't know if I could play defense today. The way that I played, with the Broncos back in the day, I don't know if I could play today. That doesn't mean that it's not important, but the Rams, what the Rams are banking on, and this is why they made that move. Their defense may go like this, but the important thing in today's game, they hope to go like that. That's what their mindset is thinking, and
if they can do that with Stafford.
Yeah.
They
it's funny because, so many people go, well, look what the Chiefs did last year with the Broncos. Let's not forget the Buccaneers. Let's not forget that the Bucs lit it up, and as well, they took advantage of the shortcomings on the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. That's the way it is. I mean, the guy was running around like a chicken with his head cut off on the field. Offense is important today.
He was running around there like the weekend when he went inside that mirror thing during the Super Bowl. That's your guy, right, Art?
Yeah, but here's the thing. If defense wins championships...
It doesn't anymore!
Right, it doesn't, because you have a great defense, but where's your offense to score the fucking touchdowns? You can stop the plays from the opposite team, but that doesn't do anything for you with running the ball, passing the ball.
What's funny? Sometimes your defense can score more than your offense.
Yeah, interception and fumble, I get that. But regardless...
Ravens 2000. I've never seen anything like that.
You have to have a strong offensive line to score the plays when it's your opportunity. Don't bank on the other team and have good defense.
I like what Kevin said. Offense absolutely wins, but Aaron
Don't do that,
Donald is a hell of a drug, man. Absolutely. When you still have an Aaron Donald, a disruptor on your line, I don't care what is going on backwards. I mean, again, you know what the NFL is today? Coach Dungy was right. What can your quarterback do to the opposition? What can you do to the quarterback? And if you get pressure on the quarterback, that's the way it is, honestly. And so, I mean, I hear you. I feel you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I hope you know that, Charles. Like, I'm not being that guy. But I can guarantee